In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a roast pork leg with tender juicy meat and perfect crackling. Now we're working with a large boneless pork leg roast, which weighs around 5 kilos, and I picked this one up from my local Drake supermarket. Now the first thing we're going to do is take it out of its packaging and pat that skin completely dry with some paper towel. Then we're going to pierce the skin all over. You can use the tip of a sharp knife, but to make the job a little bit quicker and easier, I'll be using a jacquard. Now you can get jacquards online. I'll put a link where I got this one down in the video description, but basically by using a jacquard, I'll be using 48 knife tips at once. And once that skin's been pierced all over, I'll transfer our pork leg on top of some cling wrap, which is on a tray. And now I want to cover all the meat with that cling wrap whilst leaving the skin exposed. And that way we can dry the skin out without drying the meat out. Now the next thing we're going to do is transfer our pork leg to the fridge just like that, and we'll let it go for 48 hours to really dry that skin out. And by piercing the skin all over and letting it dry out, that's going to give us that perfect, bubbly, light crackling we all love. All right, so we're just about ready to cook our pork roast. So what we're going to do now is get our barbecue ready. So I'll open it up, take the cooking grate off, then I'll get a couple of firelighters going, and now you want to get enough lump charcoal or briquettes on to fill 2 charcoal baskets. Alright, now our briquettes have caught light and are burning nicely. We'll take our charcoal chimney out and get both of our charcoal baskets in, then we'll fill those up with our briquettes, and now we'll shut our lid, open up both of our vents, and let our barbecue preheat for a few minutes. And while our barbecue's preheating, we're going to finish preparing our pork roast. That skin's nice and dry now, so what I'll do now is season the meat side in some salt, then I'll flip it back over and give the skin side a nice light coat in some oil, then I'll go down with a generous coat of salt over the top. And now our barbecue's preheated, we can get our roast on. Now for the first part of this cook, I want to be nice and hot to build that crackling, so I'm going to be looking for a temperature of 220 to 240 Celsius or 430 to 460 Fahrenheit. Then once that crackling's set, I'll be looking to lower our temperature so that crackling doesn't burn, and I'll be looking to finish the cook off at around 160 to 180 Celsius or 320 to 350 Fahrenheit. And for a pork leg this size, being around 5 kilos, I reckon this is going to be a 3 to 3.5 hour cook. Alright, so our pork leg's been going for just shy of 3 hours now. Let's check it. So as you can see, that crackling is looking absolutely epic. And all I've done since putting the pork leg on is topped up the briquettes at around the 2 hour mark as they were starting to die down, and I still needed that crackling to build in a few spots. And I reckon we'll be getting pretty close to this being done. We're at about 58 degrees Celsius internally, and we want that final internal temperature to be at about 63 degrees Celsius or 145 Fahrenheit. I reckon we'll take this off at about 60 to 61 degrees Celsius internal, and it'll carry over a few more degrees during the rest. So I reckon this has only got about 10 to 15 minutes more before it's ready. All right, now our pork has hit temperature. I'm just going to take it out and I'll transfer it to a tray and we'll bring it over to our cutting bench. All right, so now I'm going to let our pork leg rest for 5 to 10 minutes. During that time, it's going to carry over to that 63 degrees Celsius or 145 Fahrenheit internal mark. Then after that, to keep it nice and hot, I'm going to transfer it to our tucker box. And I'm doing that because I'll be transporting this one with me to the Drake's team where we're doing a content shoot. That's where I'll be slicing and doing the reveal, so I'll bring you along for that. Wow.
Look at oh, yeah.